Tales of possessed dolls are told all over the earth. This absolutely fascinates me, to think that an evil spirit could enter a child's toy just to haunt whoever becomes the owner. The most notable of these entities is Robert the doll. His appearance is that of a little boy sailor, and in his hands he held his own little toy, a tiny dog. He's 117 years old and is now kept in Myrtolo Museum on display in a glass cabinet with many locks in places, ensuring nobody can set him free or he himself can't escape. There are many stories concerning Robert's evil doings, but that's stories for another time. Today, we're here to hear 2 horror stories concerning sinister evil clown dolls. Number 1. Jonathan, an avid collector of antiques, couldn't believe his luck when he stumbled upon a rare clown doll at their estate sale. Its haunting, lifelike appearance and intricate craftsmanship immediately drew him in, unaware of the evil that lurked within. He eagerly purchased the doll and brought it home. As days turned into weeks, Jonathan noticed subtle changes in his behaviour. He became forgetful, irritable, and plagued by vivid nightmares. Strange occurrences in his house left him unnerved, with objects moving in the air and eerie laughter echoing through the halls. Unbeknownst to Jonathan, the spirit trapped within the clown's doll was steadily taking control of his mind. Its malevolence grew stronger, and with each passing day, fueling desires and manipulating his actions, the doll's influence was becoming undeniable. Family and friends started to notice Jonathan's alarming behaviour. He became increasingly distant, and in his once joyful demeanour transformed into one of madness, no longer able to resist the doll's commands. He carried out horrific acts, leaving those around him in shock and disbelief. But in an attempt to understand what was happening to him, he delved into extensive research about the history of the clown doll, discovering dark secrets. It was owned by a demented serial killer who was into witchcraft. Old newspapers he found described the killer as dressing as a clown when he captured and killed his victims. The killer clown ended up in a shootout with cops in his own home and took his own life. And when the cops went to move the body, they found the doll sat in a chair, watching them with a creepy smile. After learning this, he needed to find a way to break free from the doll's grip before it consumed him completely. His mind raced as he sought answers, desperately trying to find a solution before he lost himself entirely. A chance encounter led John to a reclusive spiritual expert, known for dealing with malevolent spirits. Intrigued by the collector's story, the expert agreed to help him. In a dimly lit room, surrounded by incense and chanting ancient incantations, they began the exorcism to banish the evil presence within the doll, hoping to save Jonathan's soul. The doll fought back with all of its strength, unleashing a torrent of supernatural forces to protect its foothold in Jonathan's mind. The room shook violently as the battle between good and evil raged on, each side striving for dominance. After a grueling struggle, the spiritual expert managed to weaken the doll's hold over Jonathan. The evil spirit was expelled from the collector's mind, leaving him exhausted, but free from its control. For now. Years went on until John's psyche began to unravel. The horrors he had witnessed during the journey had taken its toll on his mind, slowly driving him towards madness. Haunted by the nightmares and plagued by paranoia, he found himself unable to differentiate reality from supernatural. Still seeing the doll, hearing its laughter echoing inside his head, his mental state deteriorated further, causing concern amongst his family members. They tried their best to support him, but the relentless onslaught of his disturbing thoughts proved too overwhelming. They had no idea the torture he had endured. Eventually, they were left with no choice but to seek professional help. Jonathan was admitted to an isolated mental asylum, where his days blended into a haze of medication and therapy sessions. He became a mere shell of his former self, lost in a labyrinth of delusions and hallucinations. The once bright and outgoing man had been consumed by darkness he had fought so hard against. Even within the walls of the asylum, there was no escaping the ghostly whispers and the haunting presence of the cursed doll that seemed to have found a way to reach him, even in its confined state, tormenting him relentlessly until it's had its fill. Squish that like button if you like the story. Story 2. In a quiet town nestled beneath towering trees lived a teenage girl named Emily. One day, while exploring her grandmother's dusty attic, she stumbled upon a locked chest. Curiosity got the better of her. She pried open the heavy lid. She found an old clown doll, its faded paint and worn fabric hinting at a forgotten history. And unbeknownst to Emily, the toy held dark secrets. As the first night fell and the moon cast eerie shadows, the doll's once lifeless eyes gleamed with a horror. Its sinister grin stretched wider from ear to ear, and a chilling laughter started echoing through the silent house. Night after night, the doll's torment worsened, As she drifted off to sleep, the silence of the house is shattered by the sinister laughter that resonates through the darkness. When she awakens, her heart pounding in her chest, only to find the doll perched on her bedside table, its twisted smile making her blood run cold. It whispered all words in the dead of night, invading her dreams with haunting images. As Emily's nights became more restless, plagued by insomnia and nightmares, her mental and emotional state deteriorated. The doll's presence loomed over her like a shadow, its sadistic grin etched into her mind, haunting every waking moment. Sleep became a terrifying prospect as the doll's torment spread into her soul. In the depths of her sleep-deprived terror, Emily found herself trapped in a maze of increasing terror and paranoia. She couldn't trust her own senses anymore, unsure if the things she saw or heard were real or mere figments of her imagination. Every corner she turned seemed to hold a dark lurking danger, and the haunting presence of the jester doll refused to release its grip on her sanity. Running to her grandmother's aged diary in a desperate search for answers, she turned the tattered ink-stained pages. She finds chapters about the doll her grandmother owned as a child. Curiously, she studied every word intensely, finding out it also haunted her family generations ago, but they were able to seal it and contain it within the box in the attic. In the back of the diary there were cryptic warnings, specifically about how to subdue the spirit in case it ever got out again. The entries also described unimaginable horrors and emphasized the urgent need to lock it back up in the box before it consumed her soul. This discovery raised more questions of the origin and the nature of the doll's dark power. Each page she turned, the gravity of her situation became more clear, as the desperate pleas of those who had become before her echoed in her mind. The book spoke of her location, deep within the heart of the woods. Without a thought, she grabbed herself a lantern and her grandmother's necklace, a symbol of protection against the unknown, and headed out the house into the gloomy forest right next to her property. As she stepped into the foreboding depths of the treacherous woods, her lantern's flames casting eerie shadows on the gnarled tree trunks. The air itself seemed to thicken with an ominous presence, as if warning her to turn back. Undeterred, Emily pressed on, her heart pounding in her chest, driven by pure adrenaline. The dense foliage of the woods enveloped Emily, making it difficult to discern the path ahead. Every rustle of leaves and hoot of owls heightened her senses, reminding her that the dangers could be lurking in the shadows. The forest seemed to whisper of secrets to her, its ancient trees sharing fragments of forgotten stories, as they were urging her onward, towards a relic that could break the curse. With each step, Emily felt the weight of history upon her shoulders, aware that the fate not only of her own soul, but of those countless others trapped in the grip of this evil doll's influence. Sweat trickled down her forehead, a testament to the physical and mental strain of her endeavour. The flames flickered, illuminated her face with dancing shadows, and each passing moment it became harder to breathe. The air grown closer. She clung to the hope that the answers to destroy the evil entity awaited her in the heart of darkness, ready to shatter the bonds that held her sanity. Finally, she reached the heart of the forbidden forest. There, in an open clearing, she found the source of the curse. It was a weathered stone pedestal, adorned with intricate carvings that seemed to tell a tale of horror and pain. With trembling hands, she pulled out her grandmother's book, and the doll with its grin now twisted with rage and sadistic torment, its laugh echoing through her brain, mocking and twisting her plan. So she slipped into darkness, right at the most critical point, froze of the effects of the battle raging in her mind. Then flashes of the necklace she wore was suddenly all she could see. It was protecting her, helping her to fight off the presence. She was able to snap out of it. Feeling the book in her fingers, she opened it to the last page. She started chanting the verse that were written in what looked like blood. Her family had used the same spell to capture her before. It must have been some sort of witchcraft they conjured to break the clown's curse. As she uttered the final words, the clown's laughter turned into desperate screams and pleads to stop as it dissolved into a puddle of melted plastic. Its maleficence vanquished, but no joy was in her victory. The horror she had endured had forever damaged her mind, leaving scars that even time couldn't heal. Her nightmares remained, the nights never again peaceful. Thanks for watching Fear Tears. I hope you enjoyed these stories. My content takes me a long time to make, so if it did pique your interest, then please like and subscribe. I upload 2 long videos a week and shorts here and there in between long content. Thank you.